So we're going to continue our talk on jazz chords, and we're looking at the seventh chords again still. So jazz chords, and we're looking at those sevenths. We're going to see how they fit in a major scale, like where they're found naturally in a major scale. So first we're going to draw, we're going to write, we're going to notate our major scale. We're going to start in C major just so we can see all those accidentals nicely. Okay, and we're just going to put thirds on top. So we're making our triads before we make our sevenths. We're going to make our triads. This should be very simple. We're just stacking in thirds. We've been doing this for years. This should be simple. If this is difficult, there are some links in the description. They will help you get back on track. So make sure you check those out first if this looks a little daunting. If you're wondering, wait, why is he doing this? How is he doing this? I don't want to go through everything each time, so we'll do that. And then we're going to put our sevenths. Maybe we'll put our 7 in pink. Maybe just underline. There we go. Our seventh is going to be here. Okay, so all you're doing is you're taking your root, your third, your fifth, and putting a seventh on top. And it doesn't really matter what scale you're in. This will work for any scale you're in, as long as it's a major scale. Everything else will just follow with accidentals naturally in there. Okay, so now we're going to look at qualities, and we're going to look at each of the triads, and then we're going to look at each of the sevenths. Okay, so the triad over here is C major, so this is a major triad, and over here the seventh is simply a major seventh. C to B is that major seventh. Again, if this is difficult, if you guys don't know if you're watching this and you don't know the triads, you don't know the sevenths, you don't know how to do intervals, please check the description. There are videos to help you do that. This is a little bit more advanced than that, so be sure to brush up if this is a little confusing. We learned last time that a major triad and a major seventh, together they make a major chord, or a major seventh chord. And there's two different ways you can write this. You can either write major 7 like this. This is totally fine, C major 7. Or there's a fancy jazz symbol with a delta. And you can do this, C delta 7. These are the exact same thing. You can also write C major 7. Like you could write this out if you really wanted to. You could write C ma 7. That's fine. But, you know, we're looking at jazz theory. We're looking at the cool stuff to do. So this is what you might see. So you might see the delta there. Very cool. Let me get rid of this. No, am I good? Soft eraser. I need my hard eraser. 1 second. 1 second. There we go. And we'll get rid of that. Okay, so you could get away with either any of these 4, but those are probably the one you want to do. Moving right along, we got our let me get back to our pen. There we go. Okay. We got a minor 7 or a minor triad here, and we got a minor 7th up here. I didn't switch my color. And we got a minor 7 here, minor 7. With our minor 7 on top of a minor triad, minor 7 minor triad, this gives us a minor 7th chord. Let's go ahead and do these in different colors here. So again, you could do this as a minor, and this is a D minor 7. You could do that, or again, in jazz notation, they like to do this, lowercase d, or you could even do uppercase D at this point, doesn't really matter, because they have the quality here, and you could do this. So D minor 7 like that. You can get away with that. Just like that. Same thing here. We got E minor over here. This is E minor. And then we got the 7th here, and this is another minor 7. So what you got here is the exact same thing you have there. So we're going to do this in the same color. So we got E minor 7, or again, the cool jazz notation is E with a little line there. E minor 7 like that. And at this point, you could do like an exponent or something, or I think more commonly they just write it out like this. I don't think you need to worry about the actual notation. It's handwritten, it should be messy, kind of, but if you're writing it out and you want to be absolutely standard, this is probably fine, just like that. Okay, let's move right along. We got F major here, so a major triad, and then we have our major 7 there, major 7 there. Major plus a major equals another major 7. So we're going to write this as F major 7. If you're already ahead of me, you can already think that you got a delta there for the same major 7. You don't say F delta 7. You still say F major 7. It is a major 7th. Okay, I encourage you to do the rest on your own. See what kind of sevenths you will find. We will find different ones. There's one that's the same and two that are different. Or, because there's 4 chords, then two that are the same quality as these, and 2 that are completely different. But let's go ahead and go along if you're not waiting for me, or if you've come back to check your work. Right here, this is G major, so you got a major triad. And then here you have a minor seventh, So this is one of our special ones here. This is G major plus minor equals a dominant 7, like this. Or if you want to be fancy in jazz, you just write G and 7. That's it, just a G7, like that. Why can you get away with 7? Because dominant 7s are the most common, the most interesting, the best 7s out there. They are very, very common, and especially on the 5th, this is just such like the epitome of the 7th world. So you can just get away with 7 by default. If you're ever in doubt, if you want to make sure, this is absolutely fine, right? G dominant 7, it's okay. Okay. This is when the bottom ones are just when you're more comfortable with the top. You can make the switch whenever you want. By the rule of thumb in music and jazz, it doesn't matter. Music in general and anything in life, more notation does not hurt. More labeling does not hurt. When this is enough, when you're done with this and you're like, oh, okay, I can get away with just this, then go ahead and switch. But never be afraid to write. If you're really confused, you're like, wait, what kind of 7th is this again? Don't be afraid to write dominant. It's absolutely fine. No one's gonna yell at you for writing too much. That's impossible. It's like not showing your work in math class or something. Here we have a minor triad, and we have a minor 7th. A minor 7th. So this is our minor again. This is a minor 7 then. Again, you can write lowercase a, you can write a dash, and you can write your 7, just like that. Here we have our diminished triad. So here's another one. Diminished, a circle just for, or degree sign just for diminished. And what kind of 7th do we have on top of that? We have a minor 7th. A minor 7th. So diminished and minor is our half diminished 7. I need a new color. That is a new chord. We're going to use... Yeah, we'll use this one. We got our half diminished 7. So this is a B half diminished 7. The way you can do this in jazz notation is a little funny. The way that they do it is, watch this, bear with me here. They go B minor 7 flat 5. B minor 7 flat 5. So you're making your B minor 7th, which would look like this. B, D, F sharp, and A. That would be B minor 7. And then flat 5, 1, 3, 5, you flat it. So flat plus a sharp equals nothing, or as a natural. So you got B, D, F, A. So this is kind of a little bit longer than you should, right? Like I understand, like this is a lot less to write. Why are we writing something more? I'm with you. But this also relates it to minor 7ths. So it kind of says that these 3 chords are kind of related to this one. Versus, if you look at minor 7, minor 7, minor 7, and half diminished 7, they look radically different. So there's a little bit of connection here. But I understand if this is a little strange. But this is very common in the jazz world. B minor 7 flat 5. You will see more of this kind of notation at a later time. Not in this video, but we'll see how this comes in, especially as we get higher and higher and higher chords. Okay, don't worry too much about this. If you like B diminished or half diminished 7, that's absolutely okay. But this is the jazz way. And then finally we have, let's look at the last chord. We have that color. Okay, we have C major, and we have a major 7th on top. And as we all know, or as we know, because we've done this already today, over here, this is the same chord. These are the exact same chord. You start and end in the same place. If you don't, then you did something wrong. Again, this is C major 7. And then you have C delta 7, or C major 7 written this way as well. Okay, so these are the triad, or I'm sorry, the 7th chords naturally found in jazz, in the major scale. Now, the cool thing about this is you can take this to any key. So let's take any key. We're going to do key of K, because it doesn't matter. even though K doesn't exist. For those of you that are like, wait, how do we get to K? There's only, no, just any key, the key of N, right? For those math people. Okay. You have major 7 down here. So your 1 is always going to be a major 7. Your 1 is always going to be a major 7. Your 2 is always going to be a minor 7. So 2 minor 7. Your 3 is always going to be another minor 7. Your 4 is going to be that the major 7 again. Your major 7. Your 5 is always going to be a dominant 7. So you just write 5, 7, just like that. Super easy. Then you got your minor 7 again. So your 6 is going to be a minor 7. I'm sorry, I did that wrong. Minor 7. With the dashes. Now, I'm used to classical notation. That's why I was doing that. So maybe you could get away with this. I don't know if this is totally... People might frown on this and be like, where's your quality? What, you think it's a dominant 7? What's wrong with you? So be careful. Be careful with whom you're communicating, right? So just be careful. Then you have your half diminished 7, or your 7 7 flat 5. 7, or I'm sorry, I did my mistake again. 7 minor 7 flat 5. And then you finally have your C, your 1 major 7 again, like that. That's it. Okay, so what this means is if you were to go in the key of, let's use the key of D major. I like D major. Yeah, let's go ahead and do, I think that's okay. Yeah, that's, let's do pink. Pink D major. Okay, so we got our 1 is going to be a major 7, right? So what does that mean? Well, if we're in the key of D major, we have 2 sharps, fat and cats, F and C. And we're simply going to write our chord here, D, F, A, and C sharp. D, F sharp, A, and C sharp. Remember, these are sharp because of the key signature. So these 2 notes, these 4 notes make a D major 7 chord. So it doesn't matter. So even if you were like, oh, I want a 5 in the key of D major, or a 5, 7 in the key of D major, that's totally easy, right? Because you just say, well, what's 5? Okay, well, that's going to be D is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is going to be A, so you write A. You got an A chord of some sort, an A chord of some sort. And then what accidentals do you throw on? Well, you look at your key signature, you look at D major. D major has that C as sharps. And there you go, A, C sharp, E, and G, which sounds like this. And it just works, right? So therefore, you can write any chord in any key, and it will just work. That is the power of knowing the pattern of the 7th chords in major scales. Next time we will see more of this, and I hope you like and subscribe and support me on Patreon. I would really appreciate it. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time.